Welcome to BBC London. I'm Victoria Hollins. A woman in her 80s has been critically injured after being hit by a police motorcycle in West London. It was escorting the Duchess of Edinburgh yesterday afternoon when the collision happened near Earl's Court. Well, let's find out more from our correspondent Sonia Jessup, who joins me now. Sonia.
Yes, it's happened just before 3:30 yesterday afternoon at the junction of Cromwell Road and Warwick Road, so close to Earl's Court station, and it involved a police motorcycle which was escorting the Duchess of Edinburgh. And the woman who was injured is in her 80s. Now, she was treated at the scene by paramedics, including from London's air ambulance service, and she was taken to hospital. She's said to be in a critical condition. Now, the Met Police said her family have been told about what happened, and they say that no one else was injured in that incident. There were no reports of other injuries. There has been a statement from Buckingham Palace which says the Duchess's heartfelt thoughts and prayers are with the injured lady and her family. She is grateful for the swift response by the emergency services and will keep abreast of developments. Now, it goes on to say that Sophie won't comment any further until investigations are carried out. Now, police are of course investigating, but the case has also been referred to the police watchdog, the IOPC, and they say their investigation is at an early stage.
OK, Sonia, thank you. Passengers could face another 6 months of rail strikes after unions renewed their strike mandate earlier this month. Tomorrow, ASLEF members will walk out at 14 train operating companies. And on Saturday, it's the turn of rail workers who are part of the RMT union. Luke Hanrahan has more.
More bad news for commuters. That's because tomorrow there is a strike affecting this station, Blackfriars, and many others like it. ASLEF, the drivers' union, has refused to accept a pay offer made to it by the National Rail Delivery Group, and that means that there's a strike tomorrow and disruption next week. Only 3/4 of trains will be running between Monday and Saturday. That's because drivers are working to rule. They're not going above and beyond their contracts. With me now is Jenny Saunders from Govia Thameslink. Jenny, just tell me more about this disruption. It's going to be very difficult for commuters.
It is going to be a difficult week for commuters, starting with tomorrow, where unfortunately we won't have any services running at all on Thameslink, Great Northern and Southern services, and that is indeed because of the ASLEF strike that's taking place. And then into Saturday we have an RMT strike, which what that means is we'll be running an amended timetable, about a third of our normal train services, with a later start up in the morning and an earlier finish. Heading into next week, we then do have more disruption with the ASLEF trade union working to rule, and that means that from the 15th through to the 20th of May, we will be running an amended timetable, so around 3/4 of our services.
This is a major headache for commuters, school children, people coming in for tourism. Do you have an apology? I mean, obviously Govia Thameslink plays a part.
We're really sorry for all of the disruption that's going to take place over the next week. Strikes are really frustrating for passengers and for staff, and that's why we really hope for an end to this disruption, and we can get back to running a railway that our passengers deserve.
Thank you, Jenny. And as Jenny mentioned, there is also an RMT strike on top of the ASLEF strike. ASLEF described the pay offer as risible, so there is no end in sight to this disruption. There'll be more on this at 6:30.
Now, there's long been concern about health inequalities in London, with life expectancy varying greatly between the least and the most deprived London boroughs. But some health experts now fear that those inequalities are getting worse because of the cost of living crisis. Well, let's find out more from our correspondent, Tara Welsh. Tara, what's going on?
Well, you might remember Kevin Fenton. He's a senior expert in public health, and he spoke a lot during the pandemic, highlighting kind of disparities. And he says with more people falling into poverty, health inequalities could widen.
It means that they may be doing less health-promoting things, they may be eating less healthy foods. The stress of the economic challenge may push more people into taking up habits such as smoking, not exercising or drinking more alcohol, and of course, not having the resources to participate in other health activities.
Well, his data shows that life expectancy can really depend on how wealthy you are. Poor people less likely to go for breast and bowel cancer screening, for example. Now, he says one of the solutions is to really target communities where those kind of issues are. And that's already happening in some places like Roehampton. I went along to see more. 85-year-old Teresa is still a keen dancer, but she's come to a local event to have some health checks.
You're fit, you passed your MOT, you passed your test. So keep dancing.
In a gym at the heart of the Alton estate in Roehampton, people can come for health screening, everything from their blood pressure to liver checks. Derek's just had his tests and is surprised at the results.
I'm just under the bracket of being diabetic. I need to perhaps cut down on sugar. No more cakes. And perhaps a bit more exercise will help me.
So would you have known this otherwise if you hadn't have come here today?
No, I wouldn't.
Derek has to do is to take the form to his GP with the results, and then his GP would make further monitoring or recommendations on what treatment he should have.
You've done really well now. How do you feel?
Lynn, who lives locally, organised this event with the backing of the council and NHS. Volunteers reach out to the community and invite them to events which they say make a huge difference to their health.
One gentleman in the men's health event, he was picked up with liver cirrhosis, and another one was picked up with another liver condition. And lots of people, the feedback from that, people were scared about having these tests done. But then after they had them and got the results, they were really happy.
The Alton estate is in the borough of Wandsworth, where life expectancy is higher than many other boroughs, but it really depends on where you live.
In my constituency in Putney, there's actual life expectancy difference between living up near the river and living in Roehampton by several years.
There are pockets of acute deprivation and of acute poor health. Where we are at the moment in Roehampton, for example, worse levels of cardiovascular health, obesity, mental health. So I think it's a very mixed picture.
Those here want to close the health gap that's been so wide for so long. Tara Welsh, BBC London.
Finally, a photographer from Surrey who's been taking pictures for more than half a century has been named Master of Photography at this year's Photo London. Martin Parr's work includes photographs of Queen Elizabeth.
We have the Queen. She's probably the only person you would recognise from behind. For some reason, I was the only photographer allowed in, so I had fantastic access. And not only did I photograph her coming in, but I also photographed her coming out. And by that time, the word had got out that the Queen was in the building.
OK, with that, a check on the weather with Elizabeth Rizzini.
Hello there, good afternoon. Well, there will be some changes happening in the weather tomorrow, but for this afternoon, it's yet another one of heavy thundery downpours with some brighter spells interspersed between. Now, the showers could cause some lightning, hail, thunder and some torrential downpours yet again. They will be quite slow moving too with the very light winds, so they could last for some time. Watch out for some localised surface water flooding. And there is a Met Office weather warning in force for thunderstorms, valid mostly for northern areas of the capital, the home counties too, as we head through the rest of the day until 7 o'clock this evening. Now, the showers will continue to break out for the rest of the afternoon. There will be some bright and sunny spells in between. Top temperatures in the best of the sunshine, 16 or 17 degrees Celsius. And then overnight tonight, the showers will melt away very quickly as we lose the daytime heating. The low pressure pulls away. We're drawing a northeasterly wind along with plenty of low clouds. So it's quite a grey start to the day tomorrow, lows of 8 degrees Celsius. And then tomorrow it's going to be feeling colder. It will be largely dry, but the cloud will persist for much of the day, best of any breaks in the west. Highs of just 14 Celsius with some more showers, albeit lighter in nature than today's. As we go through the second half of the day, we'll be feeling warmer and brighter on Saturday and Sunday.
OK, do head to our website to find out about the runner who's run 73 marathons in 73 days. Asad's here at 6:30. From all of us, bye for now.